All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the final episode of this series. Mahou, Touki, Lilustear. I'm not gonna lie, this show has been interesting. And here's a fun fact that you guys know that if you guys go on Steam, for those who have like Steam, you guys can actually find the game. This is not just only manga based, but it's also novel. There's a light novel and there is a game for this. If you guys search up, I believe it's the same title as this show, this video, you guys will literally find it on Steam on PC. That's crazy, not gonna lie. But anyways, let's get right into the final episode. And not gonna lie, this one has actually more action than I originally thought, because I watched this and I was like, wow, this is really good development, character development at best. So we get to see this base. We get to see the head honcho, the forearm looking samurai nigga, and then he's talking about where's your team leader, and he's like, well, the shopping center has been shut down by Lilustear, and everything seems to going on to shit because she's trying her hardest to expose these criminal masterminds, right? So they're like watching through the screen of the girls being tortured, and I wouldn't mean it in like gruesome, gory ways, more like physical, but not like in an abusive way. Well, actually, it kind of is because it's a bit, sexual, let's just say. And while she's talking to Kishibe, Rin is actually happy that she was able to save her. Now, if you guys hear some background noise, and I'm so sorry, it's just the rain is falling right now, if you guys can hear it. But anyways, in this scene, we get to see the boss's true intentions. However, there is an interesting character that's being introduced in this episode, and there's actually two additional characters. One is gonna show in the last scene. So in this next scene, we get to see two goons, like, but it seems like they're looking for someone like very particular. His name is Lord Brush. Lord Brush is like this humanoid, human-based monster. Well, that's human. That was formerly human turned into a monster. It looks like he's like a hybrid of a lizard, and because he has a long tongue and he has like the features of a lizard slash gorilla. Well, no one say a gorilla, but more like a monkey. Part toad. I just like a whole mix here shit right now. So they're like talking, and he's like, "Listen, I kinda don't like how the one of the guns is saying I kinda don't like dealing with these monster-based humans, because they're kinda like very hardened. So Lord Brush sees this kid, and he's like, yeah, I'm about to kidnap this little motherfucker right here. Just watch me. So he's about to kidnap this little kid, and then Rin gets like a signal. She gets a signal from the spirit called me, and she says, "Listen, they're here. Just go." And she springs into action because he's about to get kidnapped, this little kid. So of course she springs into action, and she saves him luckily. I'm not gonna lie, that looked kind of creepy as hell. He was like some DD timing. But anyways, she springs into action, gets the two goons. I'm not gonna lie, that look kinda cool though, not gonna lie. This scene actually gave me like a serious Powerpuff Girls type of vibe slash Sailor Moon type. So she ended up, interfering with his plans, and he tells her, "Listen, we about to scrap, but I can't do it here because they would prefer to fight in the shadows." So he ended up going into the same hole that he dug himself out of. It leads to like a sewer underground, like an underground sewer. But she ended up falling in. Little did she know that this was a trap intended by him. So she follows him into the trap, and yeah, she ended up fighting the goons at first. And this next scene that we're gonna show here. And this is why I realized it was a trap. So she lands underneath this underground sewer, and there he is, Lord Brush with the two goons. Now, the two goons seems to be moving a lot more powerful because these are like the more elite goons. And apparently when she tries to hit them, they move quickly. And because of the partial lighting, they're able to move even faster to the point where she was able to be held and caught off guard. Now, this is where things got even more physical. So, she was able to get the mana from them, but at the same time, remember you guys, I mentioned that there's a trade-off to this kind of ability that magical battle maidens tend to possess. Yes, even though they could get mana from the goons, their bodies become extremely burdened by this power, by this ability that they're able to use. So over time, their bodies become immensely weak. So this is where it gets more interesting. So after she manages to defeat the goons, we get a battle exchange between Lord Brush and Lilustear. Now this is where it gets more interesting. She ended up going into this pool, like, I'm not sure what the hell that is, but but she's surrounded by, like, she's in a platform, but she's surrounded by water, which is Lord Brush's strongest forte. That's basically his domain, where he can be able to dominate opponents like her, and he manages to dominate her to the point where they got physical, and she almost died in that battle because it was overwhelming even for her. Remember, he has two possessions. He has his Schmidt and he has a long tongue, but the long tongue, however, has like this liquid that could absorb her energy, where he could be able to absorb her energy. And not only that, he has like this, he could be able to spit like this purple like goo. He spits it out like a fireball, like fire. But and the thing, here's the tricky part: when he sprays it onto her clothes, the clothes dissolve. It doesn't necessarily, it's like acid for clothing. It doesn't necessarily burn her, it would just dissolve her clothing to the point where he could reveal her weak spot. But anyways, in this next scenario where she manages to defeat him, she uses her Lure Tornado ultimate move, and when she was interrogating him, listen, where are the girls at, then was the location. Even though he was trying to trick her into telling her where the base was, he said, listen, you're gonna regret being a woman, because the location, if I tell you where the location was, it's basically suicide. It's a suicide mission. So he ended up disappearing, just like the previous team leader, who was defeated and dissipated. Now, in this final scene, we're gonna get another character by the name of Kiki. Basically, I'm not sure how to spell that, but yeah, he's another human-based monster. Now, I'm not sure if that's gonna be the end of the episode, if they're gonna make an episode 5, but I have a very, very a gut feeling that a part 5 is gonna be released, because we're seeing this additional character in the series. Now, this is what we're gonna see in this scenario right here. And as you guys saw, the main leader of this organization, he opens the door and we see this humanoid looking creature with that long ass missile cock. Yeah, that's basically what it is. And they're like talking for a bit, and he's like, man, I hate dealing with these human beast monsters, because they don't listen. They don't ever listen. It's like all reason just go out the window. And the monster is like, listen, I haven't had fun in a long time, so I'm about to get really greasy with this one. And that is it basically. That is the end of the final episode. Now, I don't think it's the final episode, because again, based on this exchange, it looks like it's gonna be going for a bit further. We just don't know when the next episode is gonna be released. Now, I'm just hoping that the episode 5, can be finalized, and also we can see an ending where Himeya Senpai is actually still trying to escape the prison that she's in, because she just seen these other girls being tortured by the Hameldars, and she's really trying to gather as much info on them as quickly as possible, and she's trying to escape at the same time. But yeah, that is it. That is pretty much it for this series. Now, I've been seeing some new series that coming out, and I'm gonna do those. And by the way, the guy who recommended me to review Gibomai, the English dub, I'm gonna do that soon, so I'm gonna fulfill that request. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I personally enjoy this, and ironically, Majin Studios is the one behind it. So shout out to Majin Studios for making this great series. And also, if you guys want to check out the game, you guys can go on Steam, and you will definitely see that it's actually real. I actually researched this the other day, and I was like, this is an actual game? I thought there was like only the anime and the manga and the light novel. I didn't know there was a game. But anyways, until then, I'm gonna make so look out for a new series. Until then, peace out and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Also, if you guys wanna play a few rounds of Firelight 84, not gonna lie, the first person shooter really got me addicted to this game. So anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments. What was your favorite episode in this? What was your least favorite? And yeah, have a good one. Peace out.